Hello everybody, my name is KingStix, and the ranked season is officially over now, so all that work you put into the game either paid off or it didn't pay off, depending on how you view the game. Now, the reason why I'm making this video is because I want to explain to you guys the truth about High Elo and what you should know about it before you aspire to play in a High Elo or just try to climb in general. I've reached Challenger and Masters on NA and LAN. I'm going to be speaking from mostly personal experience and facts, so buckle in and let's go. I want to try to be as non-biased as possible, so let's go over the pros first for climbing in High Elo and achieving higher ranks. Now, before you say, well, what's High Elo? Technically, High Elo would be defined as essentially platinum and up. However, for the sake of this video, let's just pretend High Elo is High Diamond, Masters, and Challenger, just for the sake of this video. There are three main pros of being High Elo. The first one is ego. You get a better sense of self-worth if that's how you view the game, if it's something you're passionate about, and you also get prowess and just general confidence in speaking in the game. Next, you get boasting. You get to flaunt your rank over others, show how you're smarter, more competent than them, and your opinion is typically valued as higher. For example, if you're a diamond player, they'll have a lot of gold and silver players asking you for advice, what you think, what's strong, what's not, etc. And the third one is e-girls. Now, this isn't made to be sexist or anything like that, but just factually, the majority of High Elo people and majority of people playing League of Legends are males. If you're a higher Elo as a male, which make up the majority of the league population, like 90% male, a lot of e-girls will give you attentions. Males who normally don't get any female attention because they're just hanging out in their basement drinking Mountain Dew and playing video games, you're going to be getting attention from a lot of females who will, in some cases, even send you nudes and be doing lots of things to try to get you to essentially boost them for free. So those are the three main things: the ego, boasting, and e-girls. For the good, there's also the bad. Let's go over the cons. The first con is high queue times. In higher Elo, there are way less players, especially if you're playing in the morning or at night. You can wait anywhere from 3 minutes to 15 minutes depending on what region and time you're playing at. So high queue times is definitely a factor you should consider, especially if you're only playing on one account. It can get really tiresome and wear you out very quickly. Another thing that comes along with the high queue times is autofill. The League of Legends rank system does not want you to be sitting in queue for a long period of time. So let's say you've been in queue for anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes. It will try to autofill you or your teammates to get the game going. Let's say there's not a top laner or a support laner in the queue. It'll force people into those roles to try to get the ball rolling, to keep you playing the game, to keep you buying skins, etc. This can get very frustrating, especially if you're a one trick or if you're only good at one role, or if you only enjoy playing one role. It's very frustrating. The next thing about higher Elo is boosting. Now, I know there are a lot of boosted players in lower Elo, especially around gold 5. However, in higher Elo, it's way more detrimental. People know how to play off of leads better and they know how to end games. In lower Elo, if the enemy team isn't great, if you're smurfing, if you have good teammates, a lot of times you can still carry the bad player and it's not too big of a deal. A lot of times in higher Elo as well, you'll know who's boosted, and when you get them on your team, you'll be forced to dodge the queue and wait a very long time to play another game, or you have to essentially take the loss. The next thing is win trading. This is extremely prevalent in around D3 and up, especially towards the end of the season, where it becomes very difficult to duo boost people, and it becomes much easier to try to intentionally lose by queuing up as the same time as the person you're essentially your duo, and intentionally trying to lose to give them a free win. This happens a lot when someone's in promo to guarantee a win, or if it is end of season and people are paying a lot of money to try to get Masters, Challenger, Diamond, etc. But it's not near as common around D5 because there's a lot of queues going on at once and it can be hard to synchronize it. However, in higher Elo, like D3 all the way up to Challenger, there's not very many queues going on at once, and it's very easy to time it to where you both end up in the same game. Plus, most high Elo people can carry someone to D5 with a duo boost, and they don't need to rely on win trading. Win trading is a huge issue for higher Elo, especially Challenger, end of season. To give you guys an example, I got 5 accounts this season into D1/Masters with over a 75% win rate. On several of them, it was over 80% win rate. And whenever I did this, it was very easy. So my goal was to get 5 accounts into Challenger this season on LAN in under 1 month, and I did get them to D1/Masters in just 2 weeks and a half. However, this was not possible. After I got them all into D1 Masters in the span of 2.5 weeks. It became impossible to win games whenever I queued up, even if it was my first game of the day. The enemy team would always seem to ban whoever I was hovering. If I was hovering Evelyn, the enemy team would ban Evelyn, which is very strange because they don't ban her in High Elo on LAN. If I was hovering Twitch, they would ban Twitch. Very strange. Then I'd always seem to have someone on my team who would wait in a bush and AFK in these particular games, and the enemies would always invade, kill them, and when you check their match history, you could tell they were win trading. At the end of the season, win trading became more prevalent in the last week and a half. Before then, it wasn't as common. People were still trying to climb legitimately, or they thought they could still make it legitimately before they realized how delusional they were. To give you guys another funny story, on the last 2 days of the season, me and my buddy were doing still an attempt to get Challenger. I got him to Challenger because he was only playing on one account, and I was playing on 5 different ones trying to get them all Challenger. And in the last 2 days, whenever we queued up for a game, we would have to wait roughly 9 minutes per game, not because the queue wasn't popping and no one was on. There's more people on than ever because it was the last 2 days. It was because whenever the queue would pop, it would almost always be declined by somebody in the queue. So it would pop, someone wouldn't accept it. It would pop, someone wouldn't accept it. This would happen 4 to roughly 20 times, and then we'd finally get in a game. Why is that? I wonder why that is. It's because whenever people are trying to win trade, if their queue doesn't pop at the same time, they know they're not going to be in the same game, therefore they don't accept it. And that just kept going on forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. To get into one game, it would take roughly an hour just to get into a game, not even including the game time. It's honestly so stupid. So win trading, definitely a huge problem towards Challenger Elo, especially towards end of season, which is the specific reason why Riot is removing physical rewards for Season 9 2019 League of Legends. So you can thank all those faggy win traders for fucking over legitimate Challenger players. Personally, I think there will still be plenty of win trading and boosting for Challenger next season. However, I think it'll be probably half as much since there aren't going to be any season rewards, but ego and e-girl still play a huge part into the desire for Challenger. And next we have fast decay. If you are gold and lower, if you're gold 1 at the start of the season, and if you just stop playing at the end of the season, you will still be gold 1. Once you get past gold, however, there is something called elo decay. For platinum and diamond, you have to play at least 1 game every 28 days. If you don't, each day you will lose 35 LP as a platinum player. As a diamond player, you will lose 50. That's really not that bad if you think about it. Just play 1 game essentially each month, and you don't have to mess around with decay and platinum and diamond. However, when you get up into master and challenger, things get a little bit more tricky. It used to be this season that you'd have to play daily, banking up to a maximum of 10 games, and if you didn't, you lose 50 LP each day. So let's say you stopped playing for 5 days and you didn't have any games banked, well, that would be 250 LP you lost. Good job dropping down to diamond. And now they are changing that to be you have to play once every 5 days, and if you don't, you'll lose 100 LP per day. So definitely, if you're in master and challenger, make sure you're playing consistently, otherwise you will get screwed. And once again, you can bank up to a maximum of 10 games in Masters and Challenger. So you can essentially not play the game for a maximum of 10 games as a Master or Challenger player if you play enough games. Next con for High Elo is invisible losses. A lot of people don't even realize this. Even people like Pantsar Dragon don't realize this. So basically what an invisible loss is comes through dodging. Dodging is a very common practice in higher Elo with how much autofill there is, with how many boosted people there are, with win trading, etc. Dodging is fairly common, and most High Elo people will do it at least once a day whenever they are playing, if not more, if they have several accounts to log on to whenever they dodge. A big issue with this is once you get into Masters and Challenger, every dodge counts as a hidden loss against your MMR. So let's say you have a 70% overall win rate, you're a really good Challenger player, you could be winning 15 LP per win and losing 25 to 30 per loss, because every time you dodge, it is hurting your MMR. You're not just losing LP, it's hurting your actual MMR, which determines how much you gain and how much you lose per game. So as a Master and Challenger player, dodging becomes very difficult. Not only do you have to wait very long and then re-queue up, which takes forever, you also have to deal with invisible loss against your MMR, which leads to a lot of Master and Challenger players win trading and also just duo smurfing together to smash people, which is very unpleasant, I can assure you. The next con we have is Challenger isn't really the top 200 players. Most Challenger players play League every day, They're boosters, streamers, or no-lifers like me, and they will climb on several accounts at once into Challenger to reap the rewards at the end of the season, to either sell the accounts or just to have several physical rewards like several backpacks, several jackets, etc. Many Challenger players use different names on each account. That way it's easier for them to collect physical rewards. They may use VPNs. That way Riot doesn't know it's really them. They could send it to their parents' house, their uncle's house, their brother's house, etc. Just send it to different addresses and they'll get a lot of physical rewards, or they can just simply sell the account for like 500, 600 bucks. It just depends. A lot of you guys need to understand with all this information that really Challenger at the end of the season is only the top 50 Challenger players because they have several accounts in Challenger, and a lot of them are boosting other people into Challenger all the way from Diamond or lower because people are willing to pay a lot of money to beat Challenger. So if you are an aspiring Challenger player, you're gonna need to probably step up your game because you can't be the 200th best. You're essentially gotta be top tier. The last thing I want to mention is there are a lot of grudges that can be formed in higher elo since you'll repeatedly save the same people over and over. So if you call somebody an idiot, or if you're flaming someone or somebody's flaming your teammate, people will hold grudges against each other, and in certain situations, in more extreme situations, they will int them no matter what. If they are on their team, they will int to make them lose. This happened to me. There were LAN L9 players win trading on the enemy team, and the guy who's always on the receiving end of the win trade, he's a scumbag cannon main, he was on my team, and the Hecarim and Sion were essentially just running it down mid for half the game. So I just started inting, and I wanted to make it as hard on his duo win traders as possible to win. Whenever I did that in game, I really wish I screenshotted it or recorded it. He literally said, "You shouldn't have done that, buddy." And I actually started getting inted by different LAN L9 players. Not all of them, obviously, because not everyone's a scumbag. Yeah, pretty much in higher elo, there can be a lot of grudges held and a lot of intentional feeding and losing, which can lead to a lot of tilt. The final con of high elo that I really want to stress to you guys is Riot officially announced that there are going to be no further season rewards as far as they can tell, not for season 9 or ever, because of the win trading that it creates. The pure amount of win trading and boosting it creates into high diamond, master, and challenger is insane across pretty much every region, whether it be LAN, NA, or EU West. So if you do currently right now want to grind and try to get challenger next season because you like, oh, I want a challenger backpack or a challenger jacket, there will literally not be one. So if that's your main incentive for climbing, don't bother. Wanted to make this video, try not to make it as negative as possible. I'm obviously a little salty about not ending challenger with my 5 accounts at the very end. Hopefully I can turn my very, very negative experience into something potentially positive for you guys and give you a different outlook on ranked League of Legends. If you guys enjoyed this video and you want to support the channel, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps me out a lot. My name is KingStix. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.